Welcome to the brand new Galactic Frontiers mod for Men of War Assault Squad 2. This is a new Star Wars mod that takes the Galaxy at War mod and adds so much content to it. New clone trooper legions, new droid legions, new factions, new vehicles, etc, etc. It is absolutely incredible. This map we are on is also a new map for the game. It is a Hoth Echo base map, and it is honestly the dopest Hoth Echo base map I think I've ever seen in my life. We will definitely be doing a battle on this map for sure. But today we're going to be focusing in on a unit showcase for this mod by popular request by y'all, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with the Galactic Republic here. Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. So the first Legion we have is the 178th Legion. And so this is the standard variant for the 178th Trooper. You also have all of the different weapons, of course, that you can spawn them in with. But we're just going to be looking at the basic skins because we've seen the weapons before from the Galaxy at War mod. And then there's a second variant of the 178th Trooper skin. You can see the left one is just a bit more battle worn and the right one is less so. Then we've got the recon unit for them. Looks absolutely fantastic. I love a good clone trooper visor. It's one of the best designs of a visor in sci-fi. Then we have Phase 3. So this is a big part of the mod, is that they add a ton of Phase 3 clone trooper units to it. If you don't know what Phase 3 is, it's basically, well, it originates from the Force Unleashed, and it's the transition from Phase 2 clone troopers to stormtroopers, and it's a slight variant to the helmet with clone trooper armor beneath. Looks fantastic. I'm really glad to see we have new of these guys coming in. And then he also added different pauldrons for them for their different ranks as well that you can swap out to have different ranked 178th Phase 3 troopers. Then we've got the heavy troopers here. Very nice. And they also correlate the weapons to what the individual troopers would have. So like the heavy troopers have miniguns, they have flamers, you can just have the standard DC-15A troopers, etc. But then, for example, the engineers, which are next, they have much more engineering weapons. They have SMGs mainly, as well as I think a rocket trooper. Yes, a small rocket trooper there. So you can see a lot of these helmets and things like that are based off of the Battlefront 2 helmets for clone trooper legions. Looks really fantastic. But then we've also got a few hero units here for the 178th. I think I've called him the 187th by accident here, but we have Cross-Eye, which is a great name for a clone trooper. Looks to be some sort of specialist marksman type troop. I don't know if these are actually canonical to Star Wars or if they're taken from Legends or the comics or something, or if they're made up for this mod. Let me know in the comments if you guys know, but I really like them. Then we've got Major Fury here, and then we've also got Major Fury 2, which is the alternate armor for the 178th, which is incredible. So that's the first of the Clone Trooper Legions. Then we have the 215th Corps here, which is a very nice dark blue right there. It looks almost like the Fantastic Four, which is kind of fun. And again, you have all the different weapon variants for them. This Legion does not have all of the different engineers, the heavy troopers, etc., etc. But they do have some commander units. So we've got Commander Hades, or Hades. Then we've got Lieutenant Jax, who is a medical corps trooper. Looks really good. Look at that. And then we've got Sergeant Jax here, so I guess the lesser ranked Jax. And then Sergeant Scar, who is a heavy trooper right there. That's all there is for the 215th right there. But then the 221st we've got here, we actually got to look at these guys in a previous video that we did last week. And you've got the standard armor here. That's actually it for the armor variants on these guys. But then you also have Captain Nomad. So I do understand that they're adding a ton of additional stuff to this still. It is still very much so in development. So I have a feeling that, you know, this is probably the baseline of the troopers, and then a more finished Clone Legion is one that has all the different variants to it and stuff like that. And so different Clone Legions are at different stages in their development at this time. Next up, we've got the 23rd Armored Battalion here, which is like a steel blue. That's their standard trooper. And then they have CT-4431 badge. That guy looks sick, bro. Again, I've never heard of a lot of these. And then we've got another trooper named Jax. So did Jax transfer over to the 221st from the 23rd? I don't know. Then we've got the 332nd, who are, of course, real troopers. They're just getting added to the game here. This is Ahsoka's Legion, and these are actually some of the best 332nd troopers I've ever seen. There's been other ones made for the Galaxy at War Mod in the past, but this one looks clean. That is a very, very clean one. I'm guessing, yes, we do have Vaughn here, the only real named 332nd trooper that we've got at the moment, besides the ones that were carried over from the 501st in the TV show. Then we've got, speaking of the 501st, some additional units here. So this is Commander Bo. Then we have a Commander Vaughn in the 501st Legion armor, which is pretty cool. It actually just kind of looks like Cody. It's like 501st Cody almost. Then we've got Mixer here. Red Eye. Beautiful. Sergeant Kano, who I believe is that from the Clone Wars video game? I want to say it might be. And then 610 right here. Very awesome. Also, the developers were mentioning they might be adding Rico's Brigade to the mod, which would be absolutely fantastic. There are some Rico's Brigade mods out there, but a lot of them crash at the moment or are incompleted, so it would be very cool to see and potentially make the next season much easier to make. Then we've got the 514th, the 514th. I'm an idiot. Who looks really cool. It's almost like Keeley Company's coloring, but maybe a little bit more maroon. And then we have Commander Phalanx, which is a great name for a commander. And also, he looks fire. He also looks like he could be a part of the 65th Coruscant Guard, in my personal opinion. Dang, son. Then we got the 5th Fleet Security Unit, which is a real Clone Trooper Legion I've heard of before. I don't know, from mods or from actual show, but I've heard of the 5th Fleet Security before. They look great. Then we got the 707th Vanguard, and this is another Clone Legion that has a few more assets to them. They almost have like Commander Gree's Phase 2 helmet armor and visor. That's the standard trooper right there. Then we have a second variant of them right there if you want to switch up the patterns on them. We've also got snipers for them, which look great. We've got Sergeant Ketcher here. Wow. Bro is kitted out with some melee gear. Look at that. Bro is ready for war. Then we got minigunners right here, who also come with a rocket launcher. That might be the most OP Clone Trooper kit I've ever seen. Lieutenant Bax, who is very cool, sort of modern military style camo, I guess you could say. And then Commander Heimdall. Isn't Heimdall like a German name or something like that? I don't know. He looks sick. The 707th is freaking amazing looking. Odd Skull. ARF Trooper Odd Skull. God dang, this is awesome. And then we have other ARC Trooper variants here. Oh, they look so good. God dang, son. Alright, that one's a little bit more plain. I like this Legion, bro. This is sick. Holy cow. Let me know in the comments which Legion I should use for the next video we do. Then we got the 77 Support Unit, which is a very cool coloration of blue right there. I think that looks dope. Very nice. The 8th Hunting Dogs, who they kind of look like Sergeant Hound almost. A different, older model of Clone Trooper right there, I see. We've got Hauser is also in the game. We've got Covert Ops Troopers, who I did use these guys back in the day in Rico's Brigade a really long time ago. But these look like more polished HD versions of them, which is kind of cool to see. Then we do have Keeley Company here. Very nice, and there's not an official Keeley Company in the Galaxy at War Mod, I believe, so it's good to see it added in here. We've also got Keeley himself. Maybe we do another all Clone Trooper Commanders video with this new mod, since there's so many new named Clone Troopers. These are Clone TK units. That is an odd-looking helmet. Wow, okay, interesting. Are they all like that? Okay, well, yes, for the Clone TK, then there's the 65th TK unit. Not entirely sure what TK stands for. They look like heavy troopers, but different for sure. Yeah, that's just a dirty variant of them right there. Oh, and that's because they're the late Republic, early Imperial units. Oh, and then we have pilots for the late Republic, early Imperial units. Interesting. So that's sort of like the Phase 3 almost. Then we've got Phoenix Company here. Oh, that looks fire. Oh, god dang. Dude, these guys fighting on Mustafar, it's over. That would look so sick. They've also added Rancor Battalion to the game, which these guys all look so good. Again, these guys, I believe, were not in the standard Galaxy at War mod, but you could acquire them from other sub-mods and stuff like that. So it's great to have just kind of all of these different skins together. Then we've got the Munulist units here, who I thought had different armor. I thought they were like the shark-looking guys. Okay, and then we have X1 and X2. These must be named troops, but I'm not sure where from. It looks like something you'd see in the old Republic MMO, something like that. I'm not sure, but that is it for the Republic troopers here, but then we do have some vehicles for them. So, you'll notice a lot of these vehicles are just from the Galaxy at War mod, but the big thing is that they've added new text mods to them. So, there is the 104th, you've got Plo right there, you know, the wolf pack. Then you've got a later variant of it right there. You can see the wolf on the front. You've got a green camo version. You've got Fordo's Company. That's pretty sick. The LYS. Oh, this is Louis, Commander Louis. The First Legion, the French Legion. The Nexu. Oh, that's fire. Yes, sir. Then you've got the Standard, None, and the Shark. Yeah, these are the Munialists, I thought, but I could be wrong. Same thing for like the ATTE, which also the ATMT, but it's the same thing without the top turret, so we'll just look at the ATTE. You've got a snow camo variant, you've got a forest camo variant, a sand camo variant, and then, of course, no variant right there, which looks more Imperial, but I think they also added Imperial ones, too. Then you've got the Juggernauts, and by the way, yes, there are much bigger Juggernauts. There's different variants to it, which is kind of fun, but let's just look at the smaller one, because they should all have the same... Oh, I guess this has no text mods. Oh, okay. Maybe they didn't add any skins to these bad boys. They do look different, though. Huh. Yeah, no text mod variant, so I don't know what's going on with those. But then beyond that, we've got the AT-AT Republic variant here, which I don't see what makes it Republic. There's no text mods for it, so I'm not sure. The AT-OT does have a text mod, and it's like sort of a dirty, sandy Tatooine or Ryloth style thing. We got the Falchion tank here, which has an Imperial variant now, never used to, which is cool. This used to crash the Galaxy at War mod, so, no, it did not. Let's go. Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to delete it in case it does later, but yeah, that used to crash my game, so it's awesome to see it actually be placeable. Then we've got the TXs, which looks like these don't have text mods for them currently. UTAT series, does this one? No siree Bob. So these are all already in the game. ATAP, no text mod currently. And then Clone Hover Tank, also no text mod currently. So that is the Republic faction. You can see a ton has been added, which is fantastic. But let's go back on up here to the characters and let's do the CIS. Okay, so the droid army only has one new legion here, and it is the 846th, which is kind of like a camo Ryloth type legion. There's also tactical droid operators re-added to the game, which tactical droids just haven't been in Galaxy at War for some reason, which is dumb because they're awesome. So that is this CIS right there. But then the Death Watch actually does bring some droids to the table, which is interesting. I don't know if the Death Watch had an agreement with the CIS or if they reprogrammed a bunch of CIS droids or something, but these guys look awesome. There's the Commander variant as well right there. That's pretty sick. They also have Commando versions, which also look absolutely fan-frickin-tastic. Oh, my dog is bjorking. And IG 100 Magna Guards. I'm gonna go check what the dog's bjorking at. Okay, it was my neighbor. But yes, we have the Magna Guards right there. And then for the Death Watch, there's actually a ton of Mandalorians, which makes sense. It's the Death Watch. They have all of their different, you know, Mandalorian rifles, pistols, etc. These are some of the most powerful weapons in the entire game if you've seen some of my Mandalorian videos. But these skins are all new, and there's various new variants to them, although I don't really see any difference between the different variants. Oh, it's their shoulder emblems are different from what yes, that's what it is. Okay, so it must be the different Death Watch clans or something along those lines. And we do have some heroes, and it looks like it's is this pre-Vizsla, Paz-Vizsla? The Vizslas always confuse me. But either way, that is the Mandalorians. And in terms of vehicles, they've got a couple of droid vehicles, interestingly enough. So they've got Super Battle Droids, Droidica, and then Shield Droidica, and other Droidica. This is the Sniper Droidica. Very nice. I also forgot to show off the CIS vehicles. There's just one, the Hag Artillery. And this before didn't have any text mods, but now it's got a winter camo as well as a Clone Wars camo, which looks really great. That's pretty nice. Not too shabby. So that would be the Confederacy as well as the Death Watch. Now we've got the Imperial remnants. So these are, you know, after the Galactic Civil War, the remnants of the Imperials. We have Scourge TK421, which looks incredible. And then we've got some dirtied Imperial remnant troopers here. Maybe a part of Thrawn's folks, I don't know, but they look fantastic. Well, I guess Thrawn's guys have that red and stuff on them, so it's a little bit different. So, Imperial remnants there, but then we actually have the Galactic Empire as well. We've got the 221st Nomad, so we saw the Clone Trooper variant of this earlier, and this is the Stormtrooper variant. Then we got the 758th Desert Corps, which obviously has desert camo for them, and then each of these also has the different pauldron ranks as well, so you can customize the ranking system for them. Then we have Clone Death Troopers. So this is Dogma, actually, so interesting that there are Clone Death Troopers inside the Galactic Empire part of the mod. So were these guys after the Clone Wars got turned into Death Troopers, and then they later became the full-scale Death Troopers that we see later on? I'm not entirely sure how that works. Yeah. We've also got Imperial Delta Squad, which looks so cool. I really like this variant. This looks incredible. I've never seen this before in my life. Although they are missing Sev, which Sev he's like the coolest Delta Squad. And then there's Imperial clones, and these are more of, well, those aren't even Phase 3. I'm not totally sure. I think they're just clone troopers with Imperial weapons, and then there's scout troopers, but they must have the clone heads beneath, and then the commandos, which is funny because they've got the regular commando skin and also Clone Wars weapons, but then there's the Delta Squad who has the Stormtrooper helmets for commandos. I don't know exactly. Yeah, that one's a little bit confusing, but I guess those are quote-unquote Imperial clones. And then TK clones, Imperial TK clones. I think this is all kind of bordering the line of end of Clone Wars into the Galactic Civil War. We've also got Imperial Commando, which you can see the markings on them are all gray, which is what they looked like. And then we have some Imperial officers here, which look very cool. You might see them in AT-ATs, things like that. And then Storm clones. So these are Stormtrooper clone troopers. You can see their armor on the bottom is different, but then their helmets are full-scale clone trooper helmets. And then they have Imperial weapons. So this one's also confusing because one major part of the Phase 3 clone trooper is that their helmet is different, but these have the same helmet but different bodies. So Storm clone's a little bit weird. And then we have very odd. This is odd. that just looks cursed. We gotta move on from that quick. And then this is the Stormwatch Overwatch. These guys look sick, bro. Yes. We have the officers as well variant right there. Stormwatch Overwatch, and this is Stormwatch Standard Troopers, which look pretty sweet. They've got kind of the beach trooper or riot trooper bodies. There's the shield unit right there, which is pretty cool. And then this is the secondary version of the standard, just slightly different with the goggles actually on his head there. You can also have like the Electro Staff version the Magna Guards have. And then Task Force 88 here, which is a series of pilots going for themselves. So those are all of the brand new skins in this, and again, this is still getting developed quite a bit, still a lot of work in progress going on, but then we've also got Imperial vehicles here, which have the LAAT Imperial, and then there is a Wolfpack version, which is super creepy. God dang. Then we've got the heavy vehicles, so there's the ATTE Imperial variant right there, which has the seal, and then it has multiple different variants. That one's really cool. The hazmat tier, I guess you would call that. And there's the desert variant there. Then we've got the AT-AT, which I'm not sure. Oh, it does have text mods. Whoa, hey, that's cool. Okay, let's check them out. We need to move the camera. It's too tall. So this one has some like green camo. Maybe you can use that on Endor. This one looks like kind of the Rogue One camo or the Kashyyyk camo. That's pretty cool. Camo 3, don't see any noticeable differences there. These are just kind of different scuff marks, so I guess you could have just a lot of variants. There's the Scarif version, which looks so cool. That's another sort of like Imperial hangar version, and then a bit more of like a cold steel version. That is sick, bro. Then you've got the Imperial troop transports here, which don't have any camos for them. All of these various ding-dongs here have some different camo variants as well. I really like the Imperial camos. I think they look some of the best. I love the AT-DT, one of the coolest vehicles. AT-XT got nothing going on. TIE Mauler here, do you have any camos? No, you do not. Recon vehicles, does the AT-RT have some variation? No. Okay, copy that. So these are all the new additions that come with the Galactic Frontiers mod. It looks absolutely incredible. There's also 2 new maps. So first of all, this Echo Base map, which I love and will definitely be doing a video on. I think that looks fantastic. I think it also comes with a mission. Yes, it does. So that'll be interesting to see. And then we also have ourselves a Umbara map, which we'll load up right here to look at. And I believe these are the 2 new maps, but then they also brought back old Galaxy at War maps that haven't been in the game for a while. We did one of those maps in a previous video from earlier this week, which was really a fun video. We got to use some new troops in there as well, if you guys saw that, but that is also very cool to see some of those older maps in there. And then we've got a very cool Umbara map. I've always had a problem with Umbara maps because these particular foliage they use in them looks great, but it does generate some lag, so you can't use like a ton of figures on it or anything like that. So yeah, guys, Galactic Frontiers mod, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know which legions you guys want me to use in future videos and things like that. And there's a bunch of updates coming out and stuff like that, so it should be pretty awesome to see. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video.
Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.